talk about Zoro versus Sasuke. Now, it's not a battle scaling one, right? I'll explain at the end why. It's not a power scaling, battle scaling one. I think the two animes don't really match up because we don't know how chakra will work and we don't know how haki will work. If we just go hand in hand, the feats are kind of incomparable. They're not the same. So that's not going to be the verses. We're just going to have a character analysis of the two of them and why, even though a lot of people think that they're the same archetype, they're very much not. They do share some similarities, like the cool factor, the slightly dark, brooding member of the team. But One Piece doesn't really have a Straw Hat that's actually brooding. You know what I'm saying? Zoro has a laugh. He jokes around. He you know what I mean? He's a bit silly. He gets lost all the time. Sasuke is meticulous, very smart, just tactical. Naruto and Luffy probably share more similarities than Sasuke and Zoro, and that's saying something. Luffy forces Naruto's coming eventually. So I'm gonna start off with Zoro. Zoro goes through what I call subtle changes throughout his narrative, rather than big major changes. Right? He does have big major moments, but his arc is interesting. One Piece character arcs are very slow. Like, One Piece is a very slow burner. Like, there's a lot of, I don't want to say distractions, but there's a lot of things that happening around them, and boom, eureka. You know what I'm saying? So Zoro's first arc, his first main arc, right? And not his like main story arc, but his first, like, I suppose, solved arc, right? Character arc is when he first meets Luffy and he decides to join him as a pirate, because he's like, you know what, I don't really care if I have to do it as a pirate or as a bounty hunter, as long as I become the greatest swordsman ever, then fuck it, thank you for saving me, so I'll do it. And so he tells Luffy, like, yo, listen, if I have to give up my dream of becoming the greatest swordsman ever, or the greatest swordsman in the world, because it's not just his dream, it's also his original rival's dream, you know what I'm saying? Then Luffy should just up and die. And Luffy just smiles and says, of course, and accepts it. But then throughout the journey, Zoro witnesses Luffy willingly throw away the chances of his own goal of becoming Pirate King for the sake of Nami, for the sake of Vivi, for the sake of everybody on his team. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of Nico Robin. You know what I'm saying? He's willing to throw his dream away to protect and save the people that he added to his crew, that he decided he wanted in his crew. He takes full responsibility for that, and Zoro respects and trusts that, right? When they lose in Sabaody, is it Sabaody? The slave trade, the slave trade act, bro. Sabaody, Akabala, that place. But when they lose there, there's a major change that happens to Zoro there as well. Because he's the one that tries to sacrifice himself for the rest of the team before Luffy, is the last man standing. He tries to sacrifice himself to protect everybody else because they're after his head. And you see that contrast there, right? But it's not fully confirmed until it's actually fully confirmed before that, right? Because yeah, it's confirmed just before that, but that's a key aspect of it continuing on, and kind of the conclusion of his resolve. But his resolve switches gear in Thriller arc when he says that nothing happened, nothing at all. That was a defining moment for him, because at that moment he even told Kuma, like, yo, kill me, but leave the rest of them. Luffy will become the greatest pirate ever. He will become the pirate king. I'll give up my dream to make sure that he achieves his, because I know he will do it. Right? I know he will do it, and he trusts Luffy, and he accepts to lose his own goal and his own ambition and his own everything for the sake of the team, for the sake of Luffy more specifically. And that's an arc right there. You know what I'm saying? He goes through it slowly. You know, a lot of times throughout the arcs, he's kind of chilling in the back. He always fights the second strongest or the second in command of the opposing team. And then no matter what the result is, he leaves the main person to Luffy. Always. Unless, you know, there's no one else there. Luffy isn't there. Then he's going to fight whoever he has to fight. And this is pivotal here because he really believes in hierarchy. He really believes in team captain has to be team captain. Second in command has to be second in command. When it comes to critical moments, these are the people that you must obey. You must listen. You must do things a certain way. One of the beautiful things he does is when he tells Luffy that I will not allow you to let Usopp back unless Usopp apologizes. No jokes, no ahaha, no boo-hoo-hoo. He has to apologize for his action because he should not be challenging the captain. You know, how many times have we heard Zoro being told that he's strong enough to be a captain? How is this man not a captain? Whoa, you know what I'm saying? If Luffy is Yonkai level, Zoro is Yonkai level basically, because everybody throughout the series have always been compared. They're always like, that guy is not the leader. Like, he's that strong and he's not the leader. That has never been said once about Sanji, right? So just to let you know, Sanji has not once. So then you like, okay, so he's comparable, but not once does he. I mean, he challenges him when he feels like his leadership is going to negatively not only affect his goal as Pirate King, it's going to affect Zoro's goal to be the strongest swordsman, and it's going to hinder the whole crew and put everybody's lives in danger. And that's actually his main reasoning. His main reasoning is, if you have that, then you are leaving a way for mutiny, and that puts everybody at risk. As a leader, that's your responsibility. And he showcased this again when Luffy's fucking around and Zoro, this is towards against when he's about to fight Kaido again, and Zoro is like, remember what you said after we got fucking sparked by Kuma. Remember what you said. You promised. Keep your fucking word, brother. And Luffy was like, yes, I'm serious, don't worry, and went and did his job. You know what I'm saying? So Zoro is also the person that holds Luffy accountable. He's the only one that can get through his thick skin. If Zoro seriously talks to Luffy, Luffy always listens. Again, that's why you have a right-hand man to pull your ear and to pull you in the right directions when need be. You know what I'm saying? Luffy's, you know, he's a goofy guy. He runs around. He does stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Zoro never sees Luffy as a rival, even though a lot of other people see them that they should be because they're comparable. Like, what's going on? Like, whoa, how are these guys not, like, ever competing, never fighting? They've never even struck each other. Like, Luffy did when he thought that Zoro did some shit. But, you know, that's the situation. There's no rivalry. It's just a matter of like, yo, this is you and your position, this is me and my position. And that's really important for Zoro's character. And that's how he traverses with the crew. And he always stays on the ship. He always chills around. He rarely, like, he doesn't fully, he only, unless they all have to join them, he rarely joins them. You know what I'm saying? He kind of wanders off and gets lost on his own and does his own thing. And I think that's important for his character. And that, again, he doesn't have like a crazy major arc. Like, he doesn't know exactly what happened to his friend, child rivalry girl that died. So he's nobody to avenge. His only goal really is to just become the strongest swordsman, because that was always his dream, and that was also her dream. And so he's carrying not just his own burden, but her burden as well. And he was only ready to give it up for Luffy and his crew that he now sees as family. You know what I'm saying? And worth giving up for, because he feels like the crew can push Luffy to the final edge or final stage even without him. But obviously, you know, the crew doesn't exist without Luffy. So that's him, and they're friends. And he says it when he defeats King, or when he's about to defeat King. He's like, my best friend, Luffy. You know what I'm saying? And And he does. He really, like, man, he does bits, and he grows, and he, actually, he, to be honest, he's probably the most mature character from the Straw Hats from the start anyway. He's always been a bit more serious than the rest of them. And I think that's the beauty of Zoro. A subtle character with not really a lot of major changes, right? I mean, he has major moments, like I said, but Sasuke, on the other hand, is wow. You know what I'm saying? Sasuke. The difference between Zoro and Sasuke, because a lot of people say that Zoro is a better friend than Sasuke, and I have to disagree for several reasons, right? It took Zoro some time to be willing to give up his life for Luffy and Luffy's goal, and to fully accept that. It took Sasuke no time at all to protect Naruto, right? They were supposed to all fail the test if they fed Naruto. Sasuke did it anyway. Despite his goals, despite his dreams, he liked the knucklehead. There was just something about him. He's goofy. He doesn't really get why everybody hates him. And he works hard. He works tirelessly. And this is why he never respected, I mean, he liked Sakura, but he didn't respect her the same way he respected Naruto, because no matter how much short giving Naruto had, Naruto worked hard. Harder than most people. You know what I'm saying? He was on some Rock Lee level of hard work, because his talent wasn't that amazing. Not really knowing that he was getting hindered by the Nine Tails. And Sasuke respected and admired that. So he risked him failing and going another year and trying again to make it, because he just felt like, if we're going to be a team, that's what we got to do. And he feeds them, and they pass. Then they go on the first major mission against Zabuza and them. What happens? Sasuke flies in front of Naruto and almost dies. And he continuously does stuff like this. And this is the reason why he leaves. Because he comes to that same resolve that that Zoro comes to, but much quicker and much earlier. Because again, he knew of Naruto for much longer, so he understood to a degree his loneliness, especially after he lost his own clan. He understood that kid over there has been carrying a heavy burden. You know what I'm saying? And even when we first meet him, his goal is clear. It's revenge. It's vengeance. It's something concrete. Zoro's one is more the greatest swordsman. It could be some random fucking Donnie out there that's just been training his sword striking against Mountain for 50 years. You'll never know. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's not the case, but it's less. It's more of a title than like, I killed the man that did this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say one is more abstract, but one is more concrete than the other. And so that's the trajectory that Sasuke goes on to. And he figures the best way to become strong is alone. Without, not necessarily alone in the sense of without people and companions. That was never his problem with Team 7. His problem with Team 7 is that he realized that he would die for Naruto and he would die for Sakura at a whim's notice. And that was his problem. Naruto was already willing to die for both of them as well. But Naruto's goal was to be Hokage, right? And he felt like, if I can't protect my teammates, I'm not good enough to be Hokage, because he has to protect the whole village if he becomes Hokage. So it makes sense that Naruto has that mentality, right? Same as Luffy. He can't become king of the pirates if he can't even protect his crewmates. So that's why he does it. And that's where, Zoro's goal doesn't require him protecting the crew, because he could still become the king, the best swordsman. Like Mihawk seems to do it all alone, right? It almost seems like that's the way he should go. And with Sasuke, if you really think about it, the only reason he leaves them is because he's like, I'm never gonna get my revenge if I die protecting these guys, and I care about these guys too much, right? And I think another reason is why he didn't kill Naruto after he defeated him. He defeated Naruto and didn't kill him because he cared. Do you know what I'm saying? And that weakness is what he wanted to eliminate. Because if he's feeling like this, there's a potential he could soften up when he sees his brother. There's a potential that he could die before, high potential even, that he could die before he ever meets his brother or gets strong enough to fight his brother, right? He does meet his brother, and his brother absolutely stomps the shit out of him. But that's the thing about it, right? Sasuke's goal is revenge and anger and rage. There's no clarity in it, right? Zoro's goal is a lot clearer. It's you can think freely, right? He doesn't require malice to do it. He just needs to work the hardest and be the best, fight the best opponents, and grow and continue to climb. Sasuke's goal requires climbing, but there's ultimately an end to it, right? And him dying means that as the last Uchiha, the Uchiha clan is extinct, right? Itachi's dying anyway, so, and at that point, Sasuke basically did not see him as one of them, as like a big brother, as a righteous person, as the person he grew up admiring anymore, right? It's as if imagine if after all this journey, Luffy decides to turn around and kill all the Straw Hats, right? And then leave Zoro alive, and then go and tell and traumatizes him, and then Zoro has to go and kill Luffy. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a different Zoro, right? And that's what I mean by, like, when it comes to friendship wise, I think they're just different. Sasuke wants to remove those bonds and not be friends with them, right? And I don't really blame him, right? If your goal is to be the strongest, if you're around people that you care about, you're prone to protect, you will die. Obito died. Saving who? You know what I'm saying? So, oh, well, allegedly, you know what I'm saying? They thought he died. But that's the thing about it. And I think that's where the motivations and their personality differs. So Sasuke's first arc is going from super rage angry guy to caring about his teammates to despising himself for allowing himself to care because he felt like it was weakening him. But little subtle things that happen as well. He got rage amps and different amps when he tried to protect, for example, you know, when he unlocked his curse mark and protected Sakura, and then he was losing control, but as soon as Sakura talked to him, he cooled down. That's also a weakness right there, because imagine he's fighting, you know, Itachi, and Sakura pulls up or Naruto pulls up and they're like, don't do it, don't become like him, and he stops. Do you get me? These are potential thoughts that he has, and why I think he and ultimately ends up making that decision. And another reason is Naruto. Naruto's growth becomes exponential, and that drives him to the brink. He's like, how the am I supposed to kill my brother if I can't even beat the person that's next to me? My brother's a genius. What do I do? And I'm only talking about Naruto. I'm not even talking about Shippuden, because that's a completely different arc, because Sasuke has so many. You know what I'm saying? But that's ultimately the difference between them. I feel like I probably talked more about Zoro, but I feel like just because he's a bit more nuanced in terms of like it's less obvious some of his changes than Sasuke's. And I just kind of wanted to differentiate the two of them, but both of them got the cool factor. Both of them are focused at their goals completely. One is, I think, more so than the other, but both of them are willing to sacrifice all the goals and everything for the sake of the comrades. But one ultimately leaves his crew because of that said goal, right? Because again, his whole clan got fucking massacred in front of him. So he leaves to pursue that goal, and ultimately after pursuing that goal, he didn't care if he died, lived, whatever. that was his thought until he achieved it and found out that he got bamboozled. You know what I'm saying? And then he returns and decides to do things his way, right? To prevent a massacre like his clans, to prevent different things. And it's a battle of ideology between him and his best friend, Naruto. They're still best friends, right? But they just went in two different directions. And for reasonable reasons. You know what I'm saying? Sasuke successfully cut those bonds, he thought. But he didn't. Because there's several moments, apart from when straight after he killed Itachi, I think that's when he was at his craziest. That's when he just completely lost the plot. After he killed Danzo, and he couldn't deal with the fact that the Leaf Village did that and everything that happened, and he completely lost it. So Sasuke has so many dips and rises and dips and rises. They're both two different characters, but I like both of them, both swordsmen. And in a fight, who wins? I'll let you decide. I copped out. Actually, fuck it. Throw up them dislikes. Sasuke wins. Currently, Zoro's ceiling is kind of unknown at the moment, so he might win. But Sasuke can teleport, my boy, even without chakra affecting them or whatever. And we know Kankuro Sake isn't going to affect Sasuke because his will is so strong. Because it doesn't affect Usopp, it doesn't affect any of the Straw Hats really. So there's not much Zoro can do. Sasuke can teleport, and Almighty Push, and Almighty Pull, and Subaku Tensai, and Amaterasu. Like, yeah. Anyway, it's been your boys, Appreciate God. I hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't really want to compare them like that. I think it's more fun to compare the characters as they are. You guys can nitpick and see in between the lines and see what you guys think, you know what I'm saying, of each character, etc., etc. I love both of them. Zoro is my favorite Straw Hat. Sasuke is not my favorite. Is he my favorite Team 7 member? I don't know, because I really like Kakashi. Kakashi is amazing. He's definitely not my favorite. Like Zoro, I say, is my favorite Straw Hat and my favorite character in One Piece. Sasuke is not my favorite character in Naruto. That would be Obito. So, you know. I think one of One Piece's weakness is that not enough of the characters get fleshed out. I love Law. Law is really fleshed out. Law is probably my second favorite character, actually. But yeah, minus the Straw Hats, I would love to see more of the villains fleshed out. I'd love to see more of Tick. Oh, yeah. More of Blackbeard. More of, you know, just more of the evil guys' visions. That's why I love Doflamingo. Doflamingo is one of my favorite villains. My favorite villain in One Piece, for sure. But yeah, let me know your thoughts below. I think both stories are great, different, pacing wise, completely different. But both of them have impacted generations. One Piece is the highest selling manga of all time, so there's a super charm to it, to its world, and there's beauty in it, despite its pacing issues. And slight, I mean, both of them have slight consistency issues as well, to be honest. But I love them both. I'm new to One Piece, but I completely caught up. I watched Naruto growing up as a kid, and I want to read the manga, so I might start doing some Naruto manga reviews and stuff like that. Yeah, anyways, I'm just rambling now. It's been your boy Supreme J the God. Let me know what kind of video you want me to do next. So two characters I could like pit against each other in terms of the characteristics, and you know, maybe joke around about who wins in a fight at the end of it, like this one, or maybe just leave it at the character analysis part. Anyways, subscribe or don't, but do it. I'm out.